Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, class. So here we are from group 3 and we will present our discussion, and it's about the assumptions of qualitative design. So the first speaker is Graciela.
Explain about the assumption of qualitative design. So here are some assumptions toward qualitative design. First, qualitative design concern primarily with the process rather than the product. And then the second is qualitative research is interest in meaning. It means qualitative research is interest in how people make sense of their lives, experience, and their structure of life. The third is qualitative research is the primary instrument for data collection and analysis. Data are mediated through the human instrument rather than through inventories, questionnaire, or message. And then qualitative research involves 5 words. It means the researcher secretly goes to the people, setting, site, and institution to observe or record behavior in its natural setting. And then qualitative research is descriptive. It means qualitative researchers is interested in process, meaning, and understanding gained through work or picture. And the last is the process of qualitative research is inductive. In that the researcher will abstraction, concept, hypothesis, and theory from the details.
Thank you, Graciela. So the next question is, there are some arguments which supporting qualitative inquiry, as you can see in the slide. We provide some reasons. The first is human behavior is significantly influenced by setting in which it occurs. So we know that there are so many things in human behavior that we can explore, that we can observe. So that's why qualitative inquiry, and that's why human behavior are supporting the qualitative inquiry. And then the second is past researchers have not been able to derive meaning. For example, from experimental research. So maybe there are so many questions or facts, so many questions which cannot answer by the researcher by doing experimental research. That is why the researcher can do qualitative inquiry to prove something which is true or false. And then the third is, one cannot understand human behavior without understanding the framework within which subjects interpret their thoughts, feelings, and actions. So it means that we know that we have to understand the human behavior because every day we are facing the thoughts, feelings, and actions. That is why it's supporting the qualitative inquiry. And then the last is field study research can explore the process and meanings of events. It's because that we know with qualitative inquiry means that we are exploring the process and the meanings of events. And there are also some reasons which supporting qualitative inquiry, why we have to do qualitative inquiry. The first is it's about explorations. Why? Because when something isn't well defined, we think that qualitative methods are really helpful for those who need it. And then the second is complexity. So when things become complicated, we can use qualitative, especially qualitative inquiry, to prove that thing. And then the last is context and explanations. So we can understand about something a phenomenon or something like that, we can understand the context of what, when, and how things happen. And then the third explanation will be explained by Sis. Okay, I will explain about quantitative mode and qualitative mode. I will explain about quantitative mode. Assumption. In assumption is social fact have objective reality, primary of method, variable can be identified, and relationship measured. In the purpose, generalization and generalizability, production, casual explanation, and approach. In the approach is begin with hypotheses and theories, manipulation and control, use formal instrument, experimentation, deductive, component analyze, sequences with the norm, reduce data to numerical inputs, and the next explanation, qualitative mode by Mardhatillah.
Okay, in the qualitative mode, there are assumption, purpose, and also approach. The assumptions in the qualitative mode, first is reality is socially constructed. So in the qualitative mode, here the researcher is observed the reality that has been established in the society. For example, if the researcher wants to research about the students' behavior or etc., they have to research it on the classroom, not only in the outside of classroom, such as their houses, because the behavior of the students it happened in the class, not out of class. Second, privacy of the subject matter is the importance of the subject matter in the qualitative mode. The third is variables are complex, interwoven, and difficult to measure. So in the qualitative mode, the variables are complex. And also in the qualitative mode, the variables are actually interrelated each other. So the researcher in the qualitative mode can actually divide the phenomenon itself into several parts, but they have to research or conducting the research holistic. That means all of the phenomena, not only the several aspects, but all the phenomena in the qualitative mode. And also in the quantitative mode, it can be identified or measured easily, but in the qualitative mode, we can actually measure it like in the quantitative mode, because in the qualitative mode it is difficult to measure it with the numerical data. So the purpose are the first contextualization, and the third is interpretation. As we know that the contextualization is we have to research based on the context, so we don't try some treatment, we don't make like experiment to the subject that we want to research, but we have to observe based on the context. And the second is interpretation. In the qualitative mode, we have to interpret all of the aspects that we want to research. For example, if there are some numerical data may need in the qualitative mode, so have to interpret it, what the numbers stand for, and etc. And the last approach, the first is answer with hypothesis and grounded theory. So even in the quantitative mode, we have to test whether the theory true or not. So in the qualitative mode, basically the researchers want to search the theory itself, not to test whether it is not wrong or true. It's true or not. Second, emergence and portrayal. Portrayal is we have to study the qualitative mode holistic, all of the aspect of the picture itself. For example, we have to pay attention to all the aspect of the picture rather than pay attention to the small aspect. And the third, researcher as the instrument. In the qualitative mode, the data is come from the researcher itself, not from the natural because the qualitative one is required the researchers to interpret all of the research that they have been conducted. And next, the naturalistic. As we know that in the qualitative mode, we cannot modify, we cannot actually change the behavior or the circumstances of the subject that we want to research, but we have to observe at it natural as it. And next, inductive. If the quantitative mode, we have to general to specific, but in the qualitative mode, we have to start with the specific after then we generalize. And also in the qualitative mode, we are intended, the researcher is intended to search for the patterns. If the researcher have found the patterns of the study that they want to research, so the data is enough because they have already found the patterns. And also the complexity, as we know that if the qualitative mode is perhaps depth understanding about all the aspect of the study that you want to research, and also next minor use of numerical indices. Now in the quantitative mode, it's majority of the numerical, but in the qualitative mode, we only need minor use of numerical number. So the next explanation will be explained by Elvina.
Okay, the next slide, in the last slide, there is the opinion from the expert about predisposition of quantitative and qualitative modes of inquiry. The first is from Lincoln and Guba. They said that although some social science research perceive qualitative and quantitative approach as incompatible, but about pattern and research, believe that the skill research can successfully combine approaches. The argument usually become muddled because one party argues from the underlying philosophical nature of each paradigm, and the other focus on the apparent compatibility of the research method, enjoying the rewards of both numbers and words. Because the positivist and the interpretivist paradigm rest and on different assumptions about the nature of the world. They require different instruments and procedure to find the type of data research. Okay, that's all about our discussion. Thank you for your